Hey, what's up, you HCMC Army, HCMC shareholders and moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. Take a look. HCMC is up 51.52%. We are at a 2.5 level, 25 level. We were almost at 3.0 level just before a few minutes. There is a ton of momentum in HCMC stock. In this particular video, I'm going to cover the CEO letter, the year-end letter from their CEO to the shareholder for HCMC. So I'll be covering that. We'll take a look at what they are talking about. There is a potential share restructuring that they are hinting us. I'll go through this line by line so you can understand what it means. It's a pretty short letter, so it wouldn't take too long. By the way, hit that like button so we can reach out to more and more people. There's a lot of FUD going on, fear, uncertainty, and doubt into the penny stock market, OTC, and especially with HCMC. There are a couple of things going on. One is the lawsuit that we talked about in the past, and the second one is the PTAB application. Now IPR review has been instituted, and we may see next few months getting some updates around the PTAB IPR inter partes review that is going on between Phillip Morris and HCMC. Without further detail, let me get into the details. We'll take a look as to how HCMC was trading for last couple of days. We are seeing such a massive swing from 1 level to 3 level, which is 200% up, by the way, just in one business day or one trading session, which is massive. We have seen the higher volume in last trading session as well, 3.2 billion. Right now we are very well above $500 million in volume, 612 million as you see in front of me. There are waves going on with the price point. Let's talk more about HCMC. At this point, if you haven't clicked the like button, hit the like button, share this video with more and more people, and subscribe to my channel. As we speak, we are up 60.61%. Now let's talk about what's going on. Their CEO shared the letter just yesterday, December 27th, 2021, year-end letter from their CEO of HCMC. Now let's see what they're talking about. HCMC Healthier Choices Management, OTC, Pink. HCMC today released a year-end letter from Jeffrey Holman, its CEO, to the company's shareholder. The letter below follows and can also be accessed from company's website at healthiercmc.com. So if you want to take a look, you can take a look on HCMC's website and then just click on this news section, and you should be able to find this letter out, and you can go by line by line. But what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to analyze. This is not a financial advice, or these are just my personal opinion. I'm by no means any financial advisor or certified professional, so take it with a grain of salt and do your own due diligence. Now, dear valued shareholder, as the end of year very closes, I wanted to take a moment to thank you all. Thank you to all our valued shareholder and reiterate some of the things that we hope to accomplish in 2022. So basically, they're trying to share the vision that what they're going to do as a company, where they're headed for 2022. As always, one of our primary goals is to enhance shareholder value. Now, I like to see this, that shareholders are in the heart of companies' executive management. So that's once again a great thing. We recognize that at the end of the year, many investors strategically sell share of stocks to take year-end losses for the tax purposes. This is an inevitable function of the market, and our company stock is not immune to this. Now, once again, there was a sell-off not only in stock, we also saw the sell-off in crypto. Now it is rebounding more or less, but there is a lot of FUD going on in the OTC, especially the penny stock market. Having said that, in 2022, as I have stated before, we intend to continue our corporate growth initiative. We'll endeavor to, one, grow our revenue base throughout the larger footprint in brick and mortar as well as online. And we have seen that throughout the year that company launched the Shopee.com and online channels of revenue, and they're also expanding. They're acquiring smaller companies as well, smaller businesses rather as well. Second thing is expand upon our intellectual property suite. So they're talking about the IP suite, and the company has defined their 5 different businesses where IP comes first. And the third one is to increase our profitability, which is what we have been focusing on as well. The company is focusing on EBITDA. Basically, their operational overhead, they want to make sure that they keep it lower and gain more profit for the company, for the shareholders, and for the growth, to fuel their growth as well. As CEO mentions here, we're very excited at the prospect of growing our segment of health and wellness center under the Healthier Choices Wellness Center brand. So we have seen that a couple of acquisition and tie-ups happened later in 2021. We believe that this is a segment that has potential to thrive even in this uncertain times through when we are by this pandemic situation that I don't necessarily want to speak on in this video. Now, we also look forward to the federal appellate court reviewing our matter against Philip Morris. Now, this is in regards to the lawsuit. As many of you or most of you already know, that there were so many swings into the stock price because of this lawsuit. Now, the stock tends to go OTC, especially the OTC stocks tend to go up based on the news. If there is a great news, you will see that the stock goes up 60, 70%, 100%, even 2 to 300%, or 2x or 3x money. If the news is not favorable, you may see the dip 50%, 70%, 80%. So that's a risk versus reward, and you want to have that in the back of your mind, because you can make a ton of money if things work out accordingly and what you have expected to do. Now, if it does not work out, you may lose the money as well. So do not invest the money that you're not willing to lose, because we see 2x, 3x swing just in one day. If you take a look from 1 level to 3 level, it's a 2x swing, which means $1,000 turned into $3,000 if someone has invested. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Now, we also look forward to the federal appellate court, which means that they have filed the appeal in the mid-December. They did not really have a great luck with the lawsuit that was going on in the federal court, and the judge advised to close this case. Now they are going into the higher authorities for the appellate court, and they're reviewing matter against Philip Morris. As we believe that legal errors was made in the dismissal of the case. Finally, please know that we are exploring potential way to modify our capital share structure in a way that will be more favorable to our shareholders, which is what excites me a lot. I'm not 100% sure what this means. Does this mean reverse split? Could be. Does this mean that they're trying to retire some of the shares? Could be. We don't really know. I don't really want to speculate too much here, but there is something definitely that can help the current shareholders. If it's reverse split, we'll see how the stock price works out. You want to remember that this is still OTC stock, so it's not widely available. You might want to try out on Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, whatnot. As you already know, if you own the stock, there is a potential, but once again, it's risk versus reward, so you want to do your own due diligence. Why the stock is up right now is based on probably this news that the CEO shared, and people started thinking that there is some sort of share structure update coming in or share restructuring coming in. We have seen many OTC plays, including ILUS International, CYBL, CyberLux Corporation. They have all been talking about some of the share structure improvement that can bring a ton of value to the shareholders. But do your own due diligence, and this is why probably this stock is up at the moment, as I imagine. In the final 2 months in 2021, we filed the third quarter results, and we announced the acquisition of EIR Hydration, and we provided the updates on the status of our litigation. Now, this EIR Hydration and other tie-ups with Nuhi brand, they're expanding their footprint into the additional markets, which can bring them more revenue. What important though is how they can manage their operational overhead, because they want to keep their EBITDA down and be a profitable quarter-over-quarter company. Now, all of this, that said, all of this can be found on our corporate website under the news tab. Please continue to check periodically for the latest news. Once again, thank you for your continued support, and they wish us all a very happy and healthy 2022. Now, if you take a look at what they have done so far, we already talked about this appellate court. We also talked about this particular case that has been denied by the judge. So they're going up into the higher authorities. Now, talking about what they have done in terms of the business, they acquired EIR Hydration and IV Therapy Center in December. Right before that, they announced their third quarter result, which I like to see because they have so much cash on hand at the moment, 28.1 million with the cash and cash equivalent, and the current asset is 2.3 million. Total out is $30.5 million. For the size of a company that has a small market cap of 45.87 million, if the company has a ton of cash on hand, which is $28 million cash on hand, they have more than 50% cash on hand than what their overall market cap is. With that, they have 30.5 million current asset as well. So compared to their total net asset value or market cap, they have a ton of property, a ton of current asset on hand. Their liability, On the other side is 4.9 million. So if you think about, let's say, to round it off, let's say 5 million, they're still sitting on more than $25 million worth of cash, which is more than 50% of the total market cap. With that, they have total liability and stockholders equity 36.6 million. Now, if you remember what HCMC has done in 2021 is they came up with the rights offering for their common shareholders, which is once again at the price of 0.0010. So right now, if it wants to hit that price, we are looking at 4x from this price point to go and make it even, to make sure that the rights offer was pretty much even for whoever bought that. So you want to consider that as well. So one thing I wanted to share is after the results, right? I'm super interested in learning about their Q4 result as to what the company is doing, how much cash do they have, because we have seen the tremendous cash impact from 2020 up until now. They had 3 million in total current asset at the end of December 2020, and moving forward in September, so Q3 2021, we are looking at 30 million. So they 10x their asset, the cash on hand, they 10x their total capital as well. What they can fuel is their revenue moving forward, and the company can have a great future regardless of the lawsuit. Now, once again, they are also focusing a ton on the patent. They have filed the patent for bulb technology vaping cartridge. They have started the affiliation with ATG Pharma 6X solution so that they can expand their Q-Cup technology and Q-Cup advancement in the Canadian market as well. They have launched the tie-up with the Nuhi brand to fill Q-Cup in the Colorado Health Center. Once again, that's a great thing because they can expand their footprint. This is a smaller company that has $3 to $4 million revenue on a quarterly basis. Company wants to be profitable. There's a massive potential as well. They also had, after the rights offering, they also announced that they have 27 millions proceed with this rights offering as well. And right before that, there were a ton of news going on around the relaunching their vitamin and supplement store, which is an online channel, and we are expecting to see more and more revenue there as well. So I just wanted to share that information with you. What is company doing in 2022? What are on the top of their mind, and their CEO's newsletter. Now, right now, we're back to 3 level, as you see right here, which is once again super massive. Our volume is 789 million in today's trading session, which is about the 626 million average volume, which is once again massive. I just wanted to point that out. We have seen in the past that the volume went below the billion mark, and we are sustaining there. But right when we got some of the news, we are seeing that 3.2 billion. We saw massive sell-off that happened on December 27th, just in last hour or 1.5 hour ish. For HCMC, right before the market closed, the stock went from 2 level to 1 level. And now today, we saw that it went from 1 to 3 level. That must be the buying happening, because what I was able to find is the short volume. The short volume on the 23rd of December was 23.84, which means they had 3.5 billion total volume. Out of that, we saw 839 million shares were shorted, which means that puts them into 0.25%, which is not really huge. But if you take a look on 27th, which was yesterday, we saw a huge short volume of 57.56, which means with 3.2 billion total volume, we saw 1.8 billion short volume, which is massive in my opinion. Still, the stock sustained. It did not really, it shook up a bit. But what I'm trying to say is, after the CEO's letter, we saw that it went from 1 to 3 level. I just wanted to share this information with you. If you want to take a look right here how the chart is looking, we were all-time high when we were at 0.0065 a few months back in 2021 right here. As you can see, in February and March, we saw 0.0065. We went down on an HCMC day that, if you remember, still we were at 0.0035, and since then we started going down. And after we got this disappointing lawsuit news, and followed by the IPR news, we are trying to find out what is next. Now, what is next is, once again, the appellate court is the next, IPR process is next, the company is expanding themselves, and the next thing that I'm looking forward to is, what is the share restructuring looking in terms of what the CEO gave us this hint. Once again, I want to point this out, that finally, we please know that we're exploring potential ways to modify our capital share structure in a way that will be more favorable to our shareholders. I hope you like this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I'll make sure that I keep adding value to your subscription, and happy investing. Thanks for watching.